Okay. Sweet. It looks like it's live to me. I should probably check the page and let us know if you can see us. Leave a comment down in the box below. Welcome to our weekly team hangout. I'm Abram Gonzalez. I'm here with Miss Sandy Levesque from France. Sandy, where is La Baguette? Where is La
Oh,
Baguette?
oh, your guest is having technical hitches.
I guess that was Sandy having. Yeah, I was like, well, I think today we might even have a guest appearance from La Baguette, who has traveled many places over the years. Or I'm sorry, over the last few weeks since Charlotte. Ah, there we go.
She has a new hat as well. She, look from one side, it looks like slightly strange, but from the front, it looks better. Yeah.
it's a,
She's
it's
looking
a,
a little bit, but
it's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. Cool. Well, hey, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today, both Sandy and our viewers here too. We have something really cool for you, something special. If you don't know me or Sandy, I just want to let you know something about Sandy before we get started here. Both of us have had some huge success in marketing our businesses on Facebook, and actually, Facebook is really how we met. And the purpose of this hangout today and what we want to teach you is a couple things, right? I want to teach you how to get more engagement on Facebook, which in turn will allow you to have more fun on Facebook, because let's be real, when nobody's paying attention to what you're posting or you don't have a quality group of friends and connections to interact with, Facebook can be a pretty boring and desolate place. And so that's something that we want to address and help you create more results in both of those areas. And of course, if you own a business of some sort, we can also teach you with these principles. If we can teach you how to get the engagement, which is the #1 factor of having a presence on Facebook, we can then teach you how to turn that into money using whether it's our system or some business that you're in, like whatever it is, that stuff is all transferable. And so I thought it would be appropriate to have Sandy out on this hangout today, because there's a couple of tools in her arsenal that's allowed her to have some pretty miraculous results. And maybe she'll tell you more about those as we move forward. But Sandy has been doing stuff on Facebook for the last year and a half, 2 years. I mean, even since before she started doing business with us, that there was something always attractive about what she's been doing. And I love her style as a marketer because she's not afraid to share who she is on the internet. There's something special about when you tap into somebody's profile or you see their stuff scroll across your news feed that makes you want to read it every time, that makes you want to engage with them, that makes you feel a closer connection to them. And that's what Sandy does really well. So I'm excited to have Sandy here to be a part of this discussion. And what we're going to actually do here, I think after we sort of set the stage and break down some of these elements that we both have come to know as very important in building a business on Facebook and having more fun, getting more engagement, and starting a party on your Facebook wall. Woo woo! Party on your Facebook wall. And, being able to do that, I know that we can deliver the goods. And I'm just excited to have you here with us today, Sandy. So I'm sure we'll get a chance to tell a little bit of each other's stories, but what does Facebook mean to you? And maybe we'll just start jumping into some content on what people can start doing to get more engagement, because engagement is really the name of the game if you want to build a successful business on Facebook and if you want to have more fun doing it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Abram. And I just have to say as well before we start, and this is actually exactly what we're going to be, listen closely, because this is what's helped me go from having a Facebook wall that nobody really paid much attention to except me, where I didn't get many comments. I remember looking at Abram's wall when I first got to know you, and you'd have at the time, now you have way more, but you'd have 20 likes or 30 likes on something. And I remember looking at that thinking, wow, that's a lot. I'd be lucky to get 4 people liking something. And I remember Facebook for me, it was actually more of a chore. I remember going to workshops and I'd be sitting in the room listening to someone with these slides, and they'd be saying, your Facebook marketing needs to be about connecting with people. You need to have post a picture every day, and it was like school. And I remember going home and I was just oh, this. And I would literally, Facebook was no fun at all. And, I stumbled on a webinar that you were doing over a year and a half ago when you just started in Power Network. And I'd been watching you more closely because I just liked your wall, and your energy was in. And watching that webinar, I had like, it's just, my whole Facebook experience has just transformed so much, where now I post something, and I posted like a video 2 days ago of myself playing the piano, and it got like I think nearly 80 comments and 55 people liking it, and this would have been unheard of. So I'm just really grateful to know you as well, because it was from following you and Nikki and watching what you were doing, following the advice you were giving, that helped me start to realize, well, these people know what they're doing. Because I remember seeing you'd been on a TED Talk, and this was before you had even started Empower, and I was like, wow, this guy is on the TED platform stage speaking about what he's been doing with videos. He knows what he's talking about. And when you find mentors that are doing something in the way that you like, you can learn so much. So, and now having watched you have the financial success as well with Empower, like generating just over $250,000 in the last 19 months or something. And because we're talking about money, I should say that, you know, results of what we're doing can vary. But I just, you know, I just wanted to add that, you know, this, what we're talking about isn't just, you know, fluffy. This is how to make Facebook be fun. This is actual practical stuff that if you apply it, you know, I went from having zero, okay, maybe like 1% engagement on my Facebook wall, to now having more engagement than I could even fathom was possible. I just really want to get that across to everyone watching, that no matter where you are, even if you feel like no one listens to you right now, that you're just kind of talking to no one on Facebook, which I see a lot. And I think you have to be really honest with yourself and be willing to recognize, okay, I don't know much about this in comparison to this person. It doesn't mean you don't know anything about anything. It just means with Facebook, there's some things you can learn. And I had to do that, even though I was blogging for the Huffington Post and have national media in the UK, and I had to realize I don't know much about Facebook, and sort of leave my ego of what I had already accomplished to one side and just be willing to soak it all up and learn. Empty my cup, as some people say. So everyone watching, I know that you can, you know, you'll get something out of this, even if it's just like one thing. In fact, I think you'll probably get way more than one. But now Facebook to me is a way to have fun and to do my business in a way that's just an extension of who I am. And I think that's one of the biggest gifts that you can have when your work is just you becoming all of you and inspiring other people to do that and moving towards what you want to see in the world. You know, it doesn't just have to be a chore or something that you don't enjoy. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good place to start because, you know, it also doesn't matter. I think some people think that, you know, you have to have like thousands of friends on Facebook in order for it to be worth any of your time, or that, oh, well, you know, they have thousands of friends, so of course they're getting like the engagement. And that's simply not true, you know, because I've seen people that have like, you know, 5,000 friends and 30,000 followers and all this stuff. And yet they're lucky if they get 50 people that even like see their actual post or interact with it in some way, shape, or form. So, you know, engagement doesn't just happen because you have the numbers or you don't have the numbers. Engagement happens because of a couple things, right? We're going to dive into what some of those things are today. Some of those I like to call it like the attraction factor, you know, for your Facebook profile. We're going to be talking mostly about Facebook profiles today. We're not talking about business profiles. We're not talking about like paid advertising. We're talking about the organic stuff that you can do for free that will help you bring more people into your world and help you your Facebook profile and also just become a place where people want to hang out, right? And so I just want to give a couple of those things because if you do things in a certain way on Facebook, you become pretty unstoppable. Right, pretty unstoppable in terms of what you can do with it. My Facebook profile in particular has been responsible for over 90% of the business, maybe even 95% of the business that Nikki and I have done over the last year and a half. And it's like, okay, how? Right? And I know that yours is a lot of the same too, Sandy. You've got Facebook and YouTube that are, you know, really big backbone to the marketing and stuff that you've been doing. but I know that you take your videos and you share them on Facebook. You take all the stuff you do on YouTube and you bring it over to Facebook. And a lot of people, I mean, would you say that most of your sales and stuff have come from Facebook, or have you gotten any like real traction on YouTube, or what's it been like for you?
I would say it's 95% Facebook and 5% YouTube. I've had like one person join who found me on YouTube. I like to mix the two, and we can talk about that as well. Like I'm noticing recently, I'm getting a lot of YouTuber people who see my videos that friend me on Facebook, and then we start to build up more of a real connection, because you just can't really do that so much on YouTube. It's more like you're a TV station, whereas on Facebook, it's more like you can actually be a party, and then you can like say to someone, "Hey, how are you doing?" or "Oh, wow, I like your new hairstyle," or something. You know, you can't really do that on YouTube. It's really much more one way. So you can blend the two really well. For sure. So let's dive into a couple of things that I think are really important to talk about, and let's do it. What you and I talked about before, Sandy, before we got on here. Sandy was like, wouldn't it be cool if we actually got people from the audience? I mean, whoever wants to participate, you know, we'll be asking for you later, right? If not, you can always just watch and learn what other people are picking up from what we're going to throw down. But you can actually, what we're going to do later is we're going to help you, if you want. We'll go through your Facebook profile, and we'll help you change some of the stuff that I think would give you more engagement and help you build your stuff in there. So if that sounds like that's going to be fun for you, comment below and let us know that you're excited for that, right? And also, you know, we're just getting warmed up here, so now would be a great chance to, capture a screenshot of what you're doing right now, click the share buttons below this video, whatever you need to do. Invite your friends and other people who would benefit from this training to come on over and learn more about it. You know, it's one thing to tell somebody, hey, you kind of suck at Facebook, right? And you want to help this person so desperately. But it's also another thing, and it's more kind to say, hey, I'm on this really cool Facebook training with some people that really know what they're doing. Here's a link. Why don't you come and join me? So if you got one person in your mind right now who would really enjoy that, make sure you take the link from up above, copy it, paste it, and send it to one of your friends. Otherwise, you can just share it on Twitter, Facebook, Google, that kind of thing, because what we're going to dive into, I think, is going to be really dynamic. People are going to have a breakthrough with us going in and diving into the mechanics of what may be working and what may not be working on your Facebook timeline, and getting you the engagement and stuff that you want. So I think the first piece that I want to address really, really quickly, without going into like a crazy amount of detail, is, did you know, right, I'm going to debunk a myth here. You ready? You ready for the myth debunk, okay? The myth is everybody I'm friends with on Facebook sees all of my posts. Everybody on Facebook that's friends with me sees all of my posts. That is the biggest myth that is totally incorrect about Facebook. Back in the day, that used to be true, but now it's not, right? So what do you see? What do you see? Well, Facebook has an algorithm. They used to call it the Facebook EdgeRank. Now they call it something else. But Facebook actually has an algorithm that determines what stuff pops up in your news feed. Okay? So you'll notice that you get a lot of the stuff from the same people. You'll notice that you get stuff from certain people you haven't talked to in a while, like every once in a while. You know, you'll notice that different types of content pop up in your newsfeed more than others, right? You'll notice that you might see more pictures in your newsfeed than you see regular text posts or even just plain old links, right? And that's because of the Facebook algorithm. So what is Facebook trying to do? Facebook is trying to put you in touch with the people that you most interact with and have the most in common with, right? Based off of the actions that you choose on Facebook. So here's what's cool, right? If I want to see more of Sandy's stuff and I want her to see more of my stuff, here's a ninja tip, ninja trick, right? What I need to do is I need to go to Sandy's profile. I need to like one or two of her things or more. If you like a bunch of them in a row, then you just look kind of creepy, you know, right? That's true.
You know, you get the notifications from somebody and it's like they've liked everything, or like they've gone through your photo album and they're liking stuff from like 3 years ago, and you're like, oh, shit, I've got a creeper. You know, so but besides that, right? So if you don't want to be a creeper, which nobody does, I don't think anybody wants to be, you know, you would go over to Sandy's page and you might like a few things, and maybe you look at her wall right now and you think, she's got this post about the piano. She mentioned the post about the piano, right? And what I might say to Sandy is something like this. I might get on her wall and I might say, this is really cool, Sandy, because here's the thing. I had no idea you knew how to play piano. So what I would do is I would go to Sandy's page and I'd say, I had no idea you played piano, right? I need to see the video. Because I think you posted a video too, right? Or no?
Yeah, literally playing.
Yeah. So it's like, I would be interested in seeing the video, right? And if you did or didn't post it, then, you know, we'd have this back and forth that would immediately start. But guess what happens from that interaction? Now Facebook sees that and they go, oh, Abram and Sandy must be friends. They must have like a real connection. And now it's time for me to start taking more of Sandy's stuff and putting it in Abram's newsfeed. And it's time to take more of Abram's stuff and put it into Sandy's newsfeed so they can see more stuff from each other, right? Because Facebook's end goal is to get you to spend as much time on their platform as possible. So if they serve you stuff that you're saying, when you take actions on Facebook, you're telling it, yes, I want more of this. Yes, I want more from this person. Yes, I want more from this page, whatever it is. And it says, okay, I'll give you more of that because I want you to stay on my platform even longer, right? Even longer. So if you understand that basic premise, you can actually kind of gamify the system a little bit, right? Because if you go down your newsfeed and you start interacting and liking people's stuff and leaving thoughtful comments, they're going to see more of your stuff, right? So I wanted to give that sort of a foundation to what we're talking about to get more engagement, understanding that if you don't go interact with other people, not only will they not feel inclined to interact with you, and maybe you could talk about that, Sandy, about the reciprocity and the give and take of creating Facebook engagement, because you're good at that too. Maybe you can talk more about that, but also understanding the fact that if you're not interacting and you're not taking actions like liking stuff and commenting, Facebook does not know what to give you more of, and other people will not see your stuff as much as you would like them to see it, possibly, right? So that being said, Sandy, do you have anything to add about the reciprocity? I think that might be like the next place to go in terms of creating more engagement. What's some of the stuff that you do to create that, and how would you frame this for people that are watching and just getting started and they're like, well, how the heck do I get more engagement based off of this idea of reciprocity?
Yeah, cool. Well, there's something actually that I learned a little while back that I apply all the time, and it's really helped me a lot, which was that when you understand what you just described of the algorithm, how it works, what you can do is, as well as going and commenting on other people's pages, you can ask questions or do some kinds of posts regularly. You can't just do it once and then like forget and never do it again. But if you want to, so let's say for example, you want to promote a hangout that you do every Saturday morning. You know, a lot of people would be like, oh, I need to get lots of people to see that webinar post, and you know that they'll be trying to like think of how to make it really sexy and like try to get people to see it. But actually, if no one's been engaging with you on Facebook in the way that Abram just described all week, very few people are going to see that post, even if it is really sexy, you know. And so a trick I learned a while ago was that you can ask questions on your Facebook wall, or something that gets people actually like something where they feel compelled to actually respond on your wall about something completely not related to the webinar, about something like I did one yesterday. I asked on my wall, are you a coffee or a tea person? Like a really simple question. And so many people responded like instantly, because they see that, they're like, oh, it's a fun thing. Yeah, I like coffee. And then some people are like telling me their favorite brands and like where they go and drink it. And what that does is that I'm now interacting with, I interacted with about 40 people last night just because of one question about tea and coffee. Now, tonight when I posted about this hangout, I'll probably get like, you know, way less likes, but those people are in my algorithm now, and they're much more likely to see the post about the hangout or whatever it is that I want them to see the next time when it is something that's more related to what I actually do. So once I understood that you want to, it's like, it's, you have to think of it like a party. If you just go to a party and you just stand in the corner and like just talk softly under your breath, you know, you're not going to have like much of a fun time. People won't know what you're saying. But if you go around and you're like, hey everyone, like what's the best joke you know? Or you go and chat to people, you start to become the life and soul of the party. And that's what you can do on Facebook. Even if you're not an extrovert, I'm not. I can make videos, I like talking, but I'm actually quite shy, really. And I used to think that was a major stumbling block on Facebook because I was shy in real life. I would go, like, for ages until about 3 years ago, my Facebook profile didn't even show my face because I just felt uncomfortable being that public, ironically now. Now I make videos about all kinds of stuff. But, once you understand that it's a bit like a party and that even if you're a bit shy in real life, it can more confidence in all areas. That's what happened with me as well. So the idea of reciprocity is that you don't, you chat to people and you ask them questions, you listen to them, and you wouldn't just go to a party and talk about yourself. You'd go to a party and you'd be asking people questions. One would just be thinking like, this person's really boring. and to most people, the most interesting person in the room is themselves, and once you realize that, you can actually, and I'm really grateful to you, Avram, because you really helped me to understand that. And a book that really can help as well is by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the nutshell of that book is that if you learn to listen to people and become genuinely interested in them, they will love you. I've seen it so many times. Like, people will really be attracted to what I do or to me because I simply took the time to listen to them. And when you start functioning like that, you realize how few people listen to each other. I find it fascinating. You can sit in a room and just watch everyone talk about themselves for like the whole evening. It's amazing to me. I can go, because I listen so much, like I can go to a party and literally no one will ask me anything about myself. And in the beginning I would get quite annoyed about that. I'd be like, that's so rude. And then I was like, well, that's just how most people function. And when you just understand it and you use it to your advantage, it's just a way that you can then connect with more people and do what you want to do. So, yeah.
That's cool, Sandy. I mean, that's a huge thing. I think people, they take the idea of Facebook and social networking. I feel Italian right now because my hands are just all up in the screen, and it's crazy. Hey, and I'm wearing the bandana too. People are like, "Dude, nice bandana. Is that Aunt Jemima?" And it's like, I think that's really funny. And anyway, the bandana comes out when like my hair gets crazy out of control, and it was just one of those days where it just had to come out, and so it's here. I have multiple flavors and colors, and maybe I'll bring one out next time. I can just change it every time, and that might be fun. But anyway, there you go. It's like I'm talking about myself, right? People love to talk about themselves. It's just one of those things. If you can get people to talk about themselves, they're going to love you forever. So yeah. One of the things that you talk about that I want to expand upon, Sandy, is the fact that you're not treating Facebook like it's something. You're not treating it like it's different than real life. You're treating it as if like that person was in the room with you. How would you act and respond? So if you put the post up about do you like tea or coffee, and then everybody gives you a response and you're sitting in the same room, it would be pretty weird if you didn't say anything back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be really weird. It'd be really weird. So I think I think another thing for people to get is if you're going to get on Facebook and you're going to do something like ask people a question or you're asking for engagement. If you want engagement, which is synonymous, engagement is synonymous with actually being able to create a profit on Facebook. If you don't have the engagement, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Okay, this is the predecessor. The money comes afterwards. If you can get the engagement, the money comes afterwards. That's why this is so important. When you engage back and forth with people, right, that's what's important. So that's how a post like your piano post went super viral, right? Because not only does Facebook see, holy crap, this is a post that's getting a lot of engagement. This is another thing, guys. if you can get some engagement, some traction on your post, and then Facebook recognizes that there's some action going on here on the post that's interesting to some people, it's going to take that and it's going to put it into more people's news feeds, right? Why? Because it's a hot topic. And guess what? Guess what fuels the fire, right? It's somebody like Sandy jumping back in under her own photo and re-engaging with people that are asking questions or making comments back or whatever, and acknowledging them, right? That there's an actual conversation. So again, remember, Facebook wants you to stick around in the profile for on Facebook as long as possible. So they're going to serve you content that has a bunch of people interacting on it. So what better way to work with the Facebook algorithm than to re-engage with the people that are already commenting on your stuff? Because I promise you, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you post something, and especially if you're just getting started on this, if you post something and you're not getting any comments, right, that's one thing. But if you post something and you get that one comment but you don't respond, guess what happens? That person is like way less likely to interact with you in the future. Why? Because they feel ignored, right? They feel ignored. You know, so when you're just getting started, one of the most important things to do is to acknowledge every comment that people make in regards to the stuff that you post, right?
That's so important, yeah.
Yeah, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, Sandy? I feel like you might.
Yeah, just that I just really love that you just spoke about that so clearly, because I used to ignore people that would comment. I had this weird block. I didn't even understand why. People would comment, and I would kind of like just read it and then walk away from my computer. And it was actually Gary Vaynerchuk, the guy who wrote Crush It, or yeah. Anyway, he's a really good person to follow on social media. He's got huge, like 1 million followers on Twitter, probably more than that now. And he said that he replies to every single tweet, every single comment on his Facebook wall, and he probably has people help him now. But for a long time, it was just him. And when I heard that, I was like, well, if he's doing that, and he's a massive, huge leader, and I'm like sitting here thinking I'm too busy to comment back on like 4 comments, like I need to get over myself. And I just I just wanted to share that because it was really odd. I didn't even understand why that was happening, but I just felt like I almost didn't want to get drawn into long conversations or something. But actually, that doesn't happen. You know, you just people, and like you said, if you don't, people notice it. So sometimes what I do, probably once a week, I go through my wall and I just check that I haven't forgotten any. And sometimes I'll go back like a week or so because I can remember, oh, that person said that and I didn't reply. And I know that's helped me build relationships with people that I've never met. You know, people that like always now respond to my stuff because they feel that I actually genuinely am interested in them back.
Yeah, well, that's huge. That's huge, and I wanna acknowledge something that that Tracy shared in the chat. You know, thanks for this, Tracy. He actually said, you know, I know somebody on Facebook who's you know, I think using an auto poster, you know, which is just automatically throws stuff up there that they've pre-planned. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, but people know, you know, people know when it's automatic and it's not totally coming from you. They can also feel the energy. You know, that's why I think it's really great when you have a cell phone, a smartphone, and you can plug a status in as it comes to your mind. You can share your thoughts. So Tracy was like, yeah, you know, they put up these posts and they like never engage with people, even though they put up question posts and all this stuff. And then he writes, but this person has a lot of followers, so they get away with it. And then he writes, it will probably bite that person in the butt in the long run. And I think you're right, Tracy. And there's a couple dynamics to this, right? Because when you're somebody that has finally created a certain level of influence in like an industry or amongst the people that want more information from you, it does take a lot less energy to maintain your presence, right? Because people psychologically, they want to be, like, they want what they quote unquote can't have. So like this person that whoever Tracy's talking about, they're not responding to comments, but people so desperately want acknowledgement from this person that they'll go comment on their wall to get it. Why? Because that person has influence and everybody wants to be acknowledged by somebody who they might view as having more influence or having, you know, they look up to them for some reason, right? But on the way to that, you know, and I would also say this person who's just posting stuff and not responding, but they have a lot of influence, if they want to grow their following even faster, they would do like what Gary Vaynerchuk preaches in his book, Crush It. You know, Gary's what got me started on social media a long time ago and so pumped up about it. Gary was like, I respond to every tweet, every email, every Facebook post. I want to be everywhere all the time. I want every person to feel totally acknowledged. And I think he's got something to it. You know, I think you can reach a certain level of burnout with that strategy, but at the same time, that one person, right, that gets an email back from Gary Vaynerchuk, they feel really freaking special. And it's amazing how one small email can create a fan or a follower or whatever, or a customer for life. And you got to remember that you may very well be creating friends, fans, and customers for life based off the interactions that you have with people on Facebook. And if you follow like the stuff that you can learn in books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, your Facebook presence will explode like you wouldn't believe, right? So I think that's a lot of stuff. I think Sandy, do you think it's a good time to pull somebody and then start digging in, and then we can just expand on topics as they come out?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see
Cool.
people's walls. Yeah.
Cool. So if you guys are interested in having Sandy and I dig through like your wall and give you critiques and feedback on how you can make it better and how you could create more engagement, let us know, right? Put it in the comments below. Yes, I want in, and we'll come dig in. And we're gonna choose somebody at random, but you got to post now. Post now. Post
now. We're actually going to share our screen so that we can see, so that everyone watching can see your Facebook wall. So just be aware what we actually mean. Yeah.
And again, it's like, you know, both Sandy and I have used Facebook super extensively to build our businesses, and it's really easy to tell, like, you know, what stuff people can tweak really quickly. I do also want to introduce you to somebody at the end of our time tonight that, you know, Sandy mentioned when we first got started that at first she saw what I was doing and was like, holy crap, like I could do so much more with Facebook now that I see what Avram's doing, right? I had that exact same moment just a few weeks ago when I discovered somebody on Facebook that's crushing it like 5 times, 10 times harder than how I'm doing right now. And I was like, dang, I really have some stuff to learn. So I want to introduce you and share with you guys this person. I just told Sandy about him, and she was like, holy crap, like this guy is getting the most outrageous engagement I've ever seen, and it's pretty wild, and I know how he does it. And you know, I'm already starting to see some results from duplicating some of the stuff that he's up to. So so we got a bunch of people jumping in right now. Who do you pop in there, Sandy? Who should we pull out?
Oh, tough one. Who was first? Leslie was the first one, so I kind of feel like she said I'm setting the game. Cool.
All right. Well, do you want me to screen share and start, or do you want to do it, Sandy?
Oh, I'll share my screen, and then yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. Let me just and I'll go to Leslie's screen, and we'll try and do at least a couple of people, right, Avram?
Mm-hmm.
So if we didn't get to this, you could be the next one. So stick around. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe next time too, we might have to do a follow-up one here with Nikki too. She wasn't able to make it today. She's got some other business stuff going on that she's taking care of right now, because Nikki's also really good at like seeing the energy behind things, which is sort of her brilliance. So Sandy, we got to live up to the legend of Nikki and see if we can pick out some of that stuff that she would find too. So let's dig in on Leslie and let her know what you think.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, well, there's one thing that comes to mind straight away as I look at your page, Leslie, which is your profile picture. Because we can't, and it's just a small thing, but like first impressions take less than less than a second. So I wonder if there's any way you could have a picture here that would be a bit clearer and would actually so people could see your smile. You know, like they've actually done studies on capture pages where they put a picture of someone just kind of looking down, or you don't see their whole face, and then they've done, they split test it and looked at the response with a capture page where someone's whole face, like your picture here with Lawrence Tam, like this would be perfect because the capture pages where the person was smiling, they got more clicks, more people were actually responding and liking, like actually entering their emails in. So I think that's pretty important. So that's just like a small tweak that I would suggest here. And Avram, feel free to like to just comment as well, like as we're going through on what you notice. And so I'm just going through here. So here we've got
I've got a quick ninja tip too.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't tell if Leslie's doing it or not. I think I did see that she did it on at least one post. But you guys probably don't know it. But if you like your own post, it sounds funny, but if you like your own post, it's more likely to be seen in your friends' news feeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I used to avoid doing that because I thought it looked a bit geeky, but then yeah, you're right. People see it because they see the notification in their newsfeed, like over here. Okay, cool. So here we've actually got like, this is cool because you've got engagement here, Tracy, Leslie. You've got lots of people commenting, people liking it too. So that's cool. You're showing a variety of things. You've got this joke here, like this funny video. What I'm not seeing is some kind of questions, you know, or asking people for their opinion. Like here I've gone through about 6 posts, and so far it's mostly you sharing stuff or like talking about stuff. Okay, so here we go. I say that and then we get to a question. So, but still, this was like, it took quite a while to get to that. I would actually suggest doing some kind of question, you know, every couple of days or every 2 or 3 days. And again, you don't want to make it seem too obvious. You know, people are so psychic. If you start all of a sudden asking everyone every 2 hours, you know, what do you like, peanut butter or jam better? People would be like, whoa, what's happening? But like subtly bringing in more questions, it's really powerful because you see people here that they're responding. But I would ask even like another tip is to ask questions where it just needs a one-word answer, like
yeah.
Yes or no, or because sometimes people ask things like, what's the best what was the most life-changing holiday you've ever had, or I don't know, like the most life-changing experience? And
yeah, what do you think the meaning of life is? And it's like there's certain questions I'm like, I love the question that somebody's asking on their news feed, so I'm just not even gonna bother. It's too hard for me to answer it. I have another ninja tip for Leslie. If you go up to one of those photos that was shared. So check this out. If you scroll, yeah, sure, any of them, right? Okay, when you see this in your news feed and you share it from the news feed onto your timeline, you will never get as much engagement as if you downloaded the photo and reposted it on your wall. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you instead actually see the photo and then you download it and then repost it, you're going to get way more engagement. Because Facebook sees it as original content from you. It's interesting. It's a small tweak. It takes a few more seconds to do, but it'll give you more longevity on your actual on your content. Yeah,
and something else that another tip that I would add here is like people like Facebook is called Facebook, you know, like because we want to see people's faces. People want to like be nosy and spy on your life. It's like a reality TV show. So something that we're not seeing very much here is pictures of your life, Leslie. You know, like of what you're up to or where you've been, who you're hanging out with. I've noticed that the more I do that, oh, here we go. And every time I say something, the next post is is that thing. So But I would perhaps do a bit more of this, Leslie, you know, like this is related to your business. What about if you posted, you know, pictures of the things you're up to and where you're going, as well as the videos? Because often people don't necessarily have the time to watch a video, but they like to look at a picture because it takes like 1 second, and it builds up more connection because people start to feel like they know you, and you get that whole like know and trust factor. So that's another suggestion that's coming to mind as I scroll through here, as well as the questions. Avram, is there anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, there's one more, and then I think it'd be fun to pull somebody else, and just, you know, because this is awesome. So the other thing that I would consider doing, again, it can be a little bit more work, but the videos that you're creating on YouTube, right? So you can post a link from your video. Now, we talked about this in the beginning. Facebook sees a link. When they see you posting a link, there's way less of a chance of it showing up in the Facebook newsfeed of your friends. I don't know why that is, but it just doesn't. So here's how I've been gaming the algorithm, right? What I do is I post my YouTube videos on YouTube, and then I put them on my blog, right? And that's what YouTube is used for me. And then what I do is I take that same exact video and I upload it on Facebook. Because what happens is, like, if you look on Sandy's screen here, you see how Leslie's got her video there, right? And it's a super small thumbnail that shows like Leslie's face. Whereas, like, if you go to my profile and you see like the video that I put up this morning, or like that one, like that Sandy has right there. See?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
uploaded it directly to Facebook, and see how big that is?
Yeah.
So when people see it in the news feed, it's big. It attracts more attention, right? And it just sticks out more than just a regular little thumbnail. So again, these are little things, but some of these little things make a big difference when it comes to becoming more attractive and getting more attention from the stuff that people are seeing in their news feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And the last point that I would add, I think you are sort of kind of doing this a little bit already, Leslie. I noticed a difference, and I actually got this from modeling Avram and watching what Avram was doing, is sharing value, you know, like sharing a useful post every day, something that people could read and like be like, that was really useful, you know, I got something out of that they can just read, or it could be in a video, but some kind of value post. Because you want to like be informing people, you know, like giving them information, entertaining them, which you're doing. You've got like jokes and stuff here and pictures, and inspiring people. And I think that I've noticed that if I only post YouTube videos, because I used to do that all the time for ages. I never used to post videos on Facebook. I didn't feel confident enough really to share value posts because I felt like, well, who would want to listen to me? I'm a broke Zumba instructor. Who's going to take life advice from me? But what I started to do was, you know, we always have insights, you know, like Neve Arthur in Charlotte, the live event, she talked about it as like a popcorn, like when a little kernel becomes a popcorn. You know, you probably have one of those moments if you're doing the 8 core commitments, or you're doing some kind of personal development, for anyone who doesn't know what that is. Like you'll have every single day, you'll have something where you learned something or you got inspired by something, and you could just pass that on. You don't have to be like Buddha, you know.
Yeah.
But I found that like mixing that into what I'm doing, it started to make a big difference, because people start to look up to what you're, you know, they start to associate your wall, what they see from you in the newsfeed, with useful stuff that they can learn from.
Yeah, and it's original content, like it came from you, right? It's your opinion of something, or it's your spin on something that you learned. So super cool, super cool. Hey, so Sandy, what do you think about a sort of like a lightning round? So
Yeah.
We're like 15 minutes to the hour. So how about we do 3 more people? We spend 5 minutes each, lightning rounds. You chose the first one, I'll choose the second one, you choose another one, then I'll choose the last one. How's that sound?
Let's do that.
All right, cool. So I want to bring out, I want to go check out, I'll share my screen here. I want to bring out, let's do somebody who I think has some really fun stuff going on. Let's do Tara, okay? Because I think I like Tara because she has a wacky ass personality, and I love that. So let's see. Let me make sure I can share it. Let me know if it's not working, Sandy. I gotta switch. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
cool.
good.
All right, sweet. So Tara, you better be watching. Haha. All right. So this is cool, right? So Tara's got her picture showing, right? She's got a nice little banner. It actually tells you what she's into. You know, I think that's really cool. Another little ninja tip that you guys can take is if you rotate like if you upload a new cover photo or a new profile picture, like every once in a while, you'll notice that it gets more attention than a lot of the other photos that you'll post like on your timeline. Right, so like I posted a personal profile pic the other day, and it got like almost 200 likes on it, which is wild, you know. So that stuff carries more weight in the news feed, if that makes sense. All right, so going down. Dun, 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 dun. One of the cool things Tara's using is hashtags, which is cool. It just carried over from her Instagram account. So this is another one that you guys can do too. Is if you guys are on Instagram, you can actually put your photos up there and then share them to Facebook at the same time, and it'll get not only your Facebook friends to come participate on Instagram more, but it'll just also get you more visibility. So that's cool. Let's find something that you might be able to improve, Tara. And if you see anything, Sandy, of course, you do the same.
Cool.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right, cool. This is sweet. So, okay, so pointing one thing out. This is great that you're posting pictures with your own thoughts attached to it, right? People post quotes and shit all the time, and then they don't say anything about it, which I think is really dumb. Like, we want to know what you think about the quote. So I like that you're doing that. I'm just trying to find something that would be that would help her do better. Okay.
One thing I would just say about that just there, like that long post and the video, Tara, is I noticed that like I think you could almost get like double the use you get out of that post by sharing that text as a separate post with a photo and then uploading the video that you made as an actual video to Facebook. You know, maybe not the same day, but it's like everyone was saying at the start, you know, a lot of people don't see what you post. And so, like a guy that I follow, Guy Kawasaki, he's got a huge amount of followers. He posts the same stuff all the time, like 5 times a week or something. And I wouldn't go that far, but his point was that social media is so fast, a lot of people don't see what you post, so they need to see it like a couple of times to actually click on it and read it. So if you've gone to the trouble of writing this amazing post here, I would get more, like recycle it by sharing it again with a photo or sharing the video separately so that you have, like, people get more chances to actually interact with it.
That's a good one, Sandy. I like that. So taking the same post, uploading it with a photo, and then putting the YouTube link at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. The other thing is, you know, what's really important, guys, is and we got like a minute or two, and then we're going to switch to the next person, is what you want to do is you want to create, in everything that you do, you want to create good headlines with everything that you post. So what does that mean? It's like you read the first thing. So here's a good one, right? So it's like, so Tara's promoting something, right? Tara's promoting something. Right here, so just like read the post. Today at 2 p.m., listen to How to Become Money, one of my favorite shows. Curry uses access tools to clear away energetic blocks and unconsciousness around money. So what I would do is I would flip this around, right? I would put the benefit up front, which is really the benefit of people listening is you can clear away energetic blocks and unconsciousness around money. So I would start this post instead with, what, you know, do you have, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up, but do you have weird unconsciousness around money that's stopping your money flows? Or do you feel like you hit a glass ceiling on money and you don't know how to get past it, listen to this show, by one of my favorite people, Curry Glassell, blah, 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 blah. Right? So flip it around, because here's the thing. Some people have no idea what it means how to become money. Some people have no idea who Curry Glassell is. Some people have no idea what access consciousness is. So what do you do instead? You lead with the benefit of what they're going to get when they listen, and then you might be able to end with, it's at 2 p.m., the show is called How to Become Money, it's from one of my people, it uses these really cool tools I've been using to change my life. Does that make sense? So always think about what's the benefit that people are going to get when they jump in and check out the content that you're posting about.
Yeah,
how does that sound?
That's good advice. Actually, Abram, I don't know if you can see this, but Farah's asking in the comments about that post that I pointed out earlier. She was saying I didn't get any, she asked for opinions and she didn't get any responses. So she's just asking for feedback about that. I have an awareness I can share about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was just perhaps a bit too long, Tara, because I've tested this a lot myself. I found that if I'm doing a longer post, it depends, but if you're asking a question and you generally want an answer, I'd keep it really short so that people see it as soon as they're scrolling down the news feed. Because here, I'd guess that probably not that many people read the whole thing. So, it's like the last line of the whole thing is, I'm curious what your opinion is. I would almost put that first, put that right at the start of your post. Guys, I really want to know what you think about this. And then go into more explanation in the story. But it's almost it's kind of lost in the rest of it, So that would be my suggestion there. And with questions, I would actually ask them in much shorter posts because, like Abram was just saying, a lot of the time we don't see the whole thing. Sometimes you have to click on, it says click, see more, and it takes you into a whole new tab. And I've noticed I don't even like it when that happens because I'm like, oh, I have to go and read a whole new tab now. We get so lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like the question, it's there's a lot of questions. There's actually like 3 or 4 of them in a row, even though it ends with this one. And it's I read it, and I know that I'm on a Hangout, and it's harder for me to like multitask and stuff. But the question's almost like, it sounds crazy, but it's almost too difficult for me to fathom what's going on. So the question here is like, what do you think we would be doing with our time if we weren't obsessing over how we look according to commercialized standards? So it's like, how can you simplify that question to become more powerful and more magnetic for people to want to answer it, right? And it's also like Sandy said, sometimes you can ask elaborate questions and you're going to get people fired up. They want to answer anyway. It doesn't matter how elaborate the question is. Other ones, it's like people want to be able to say yes or no, or I like pizza, or I like French fries, and they like it short. So yeah, just some stuff to think about, and then the other thing is too, it's like, look, the more active you are getting out there and really networking with people, the more they're going to want to come pay attention to your stuff anyway. And I think that's going to be an underlying thing for everybody that we talk about today and go over. So let me unscreen share and then see if you can find somebody that you'd like to pull out next, Sandy.
Yeah, I was just looking through. I'm going to go with Lisa Lotta, because she was actually the second person, so I'm just going to go that way. And also she's, I'm just going to screen share here. And I think it's just cool that she's on the Hangout, and it's late in Europe where we are. So, okay, so here we go. Something I just want to add about the engaging with people. Something you guys can do, and maybe you already know this, but if you're not getting much engagement, you might need to be doing it more, is actually just spending, like, every time you go into Facebook, I used to have this really bad habit of just going into Facebook and posting something, kind of looking around a bit, and then just checking out, like logging out. And now what I do, what I've done for the past year, is I spend 10 minutes or like more just going and only commenting on other people's stuff, like going through my news feed and looking at what's interesting to me. It doesn't mean I just go and like comment or for the sake of it, like thoughtful comments, because people will sense it if you're just being like, oh, this is so nice, and you haven't even read it, or if you're not really genuinely interested. but I make a point of every time I go in actually being social, because otherwise it's just like you're just going into a party and just talking at everyone. So you can, when you make it more like regular like that, it becomes a lot easier. It's just like a habit, you know, like forming a new habit. So I'm going to go to Liselotte here. Okay. Oh, and we have Swedish. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, cool. So I love Liselotte's picture because it's got, you can see her whole face, and it's like this kind of draws you in. Let's just go through here. So sharing a link, sharing someone else's video.
So again, when you share like the link for a Hangout, for instance, if you can grab a picture and share it with that instead of just the link, more people are going to see it because pictures carry more weight in the newsfeed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then another quick thing about, you know, about her putting it in Swedish and English and stuff, it's like that's great because she's aware that she has an audience that speaks both Swedish and English, right? And the person that we're going to introduce you to at the end, he's very aware of who is following him on Facebook, and so he creates posts that are very dedicated to that audience, and that's a huge part of the reason why he gets way more engagement than a lot of other people. He's very aware of who is connected to him on Facebook. So
yeah, yeah, cool. So then we've got here, I did it, but it was very close to not. So this is cool because this is showing people like what you're up to, going for a walk, I think, here. Da, da, da. Okay, so Liselotte, I know we've spoken about this before, but there's just so few people doing it. I would really post your videos that you're making into Facebook. And maybe people don't know how to do this. It's actually really easy. It's where you have the photo video, you just click there and you upload it as you would a photo. So I would really get into the habit of making videos part of your Facebook wall, because people really love to watch videos on Facebook, and they're more likely to click on that than they are on a YouTube link. So again, coming back to the same things here, I would be asking some questions, like really simple questions, just to get people engaging with you. And I know that Liselotte, you've not been actively building up your Facebook wall for that long. So I found that's a really effective thing to do. Like, okay, and here's something else. So just to finish that point about the questions, just some simple questions you can ask people to start getting that edge rank, the algorithm thing we talked about at the start. So that the Facebook, like imagine that there's a bunch of robots or mice that run Facebook's algorithm. They've got to see that people are interacting with you. So I would start to ask some questions that get people responding, like the tea or coffee example. And here with this blog post, it's great that you have a picture here. I would also have a look at how can you incite people's curiosity? How can you get people curious about what this is? Because from interrail to internet journey, it's cool, but it doesn't exactly. It kind of, people will read that and think, okay, she's going to talk about how she went on a train and now she's on the internet. But you could, ask yourself, what would make me click on that? How could I make this slightly sexy so that people want to click on it? Could you start the story? There's actually really good training in the Empower course, the 15K formula. It's actually for email marketing, but it helped me with this so much because I used to just write really boring, factual, like introductions to my blog posts, and I'd get very few people actually clicking on them. And I learned from that module, from that course, that you want to write in a way that gets people curious, whether they get drawn into a story or they feel like something's been, like they want to scratch this itch that you've created by by talking about something and not completing it, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the most. I think it's one of the most important things, Sandy, is like that first sentence that you write on every Facebook status. If you treat it like the subject lines you'd be writing for emails, or the first line that you'd write inside of an email, your stuff is going to become much better. The same thing with your blogs. Copywriting is huge, right? Because you need to give people a reason, like you said, to actually click on it. So every time I create a piece of content, whether it's a Facebook post or a blog post or whatever, I'm always asking, how can I sell the like or the comment or the click or the engagement or the open or the sale or whatever it is? How can I sell the next action that I want the person to take when they're looking at my Facebook wall or my blogs or my emails? And if you take that sort of like a perspective and move it into everything that you're doing on Facebook, that's when your stuff will really explode. If you look at some of the people that had the most engagement, they're asking questions and their headlines rock. Like, I actually have people that comment almost on a daily basis that go, I can't help but read all of your posts because when I read the first sentence, I'm just like drawn in and sucked in and I have to read the rest. And that's really what you want to create in your posts if you can, right? And like you said, Sandy, there's really great stuff in the 15K formula. Lessons 8 and 9 are all about the elements of copywriting, you know, and becoming better at doing that.
Yeah.
So lessons 8 and 9 are perfect for that. And actually, it's a good time to talk about it. And we'll take another person here in a second. You know, Lawrence Tam, who is in our upline, right? He's starting a special summer seminar course tonight, I believe at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you own the 15K formula, you can participate in that. It's all about high authority blogging. But it's not just about blogging, right? It's about the art of communication. Because when you become a good communicator, it almost doesn't even matter what you post on Facebook. People are going to be drawn to it. I think it's probably the number one problem that we've seen out of everything that we've looked at so far is the way that you're communicating with people on Facebook. Everybody, like I'm still working on this all the time, right? Because it's so important, and you can always get better at it. You have to be speaking in terms of headlines. You know what I mean? You have to be creating some sort of a magnetism by what you're writing and the way that you're communicating. Because if you don't, good luck getting the engagement that you need. Right?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the 15K formula, you really need to get it. If you want to have more success on Facebook. If you're watching this hangout right now and you're not part of our team yet, just click the button below and become a part of our team. Right? It's an easy way to learn more stuff from us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great place to start. If you guys study that and you model it and you look at like what Sandy's doing, you look at like what I'm doing, you look at what Nikki's doing, you're going to learn a lot really, really fast on how to really construct. So instead of just spending your time scrolling through people's news feeds kind of randomly and just droning out like a zombie, like is easy to do, look at the people that are having the success that you would like to have and the engagement that you'd like to have on your Facebook profile and be like, okay, what are they doing? Why is their stuff so magnetic? What is it that they're putting out that's making me want to respond? Like, you have to be asking yourself these questions in order to get the results that you want. Like, I know that's what you did, Sandy, because I watched when you first got started, really, when you made it a priority to learn it, I could tell that you were asking yourself questions all the time by studying other people. And you're like, what can I learn from this? What are they doing that I'm not doing yet? Blah, 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 blah. Is there anything else that you were looking at when you were modeling other people?
Well, yeah, I was looking at like the different ways that they started their posts, the ways that the language they used, because something that I've noticed as well is sometimes people don't speak like they speak in normal life on Facebook. Like they'll be like, would you like more to be more prosperous, or would you like more abundance? But when you think about it, like, how often do you say those words in real life? You know, like when you're in a supermarket and you see someone you know, like you don't ask them, how abundant are you right now? Like you know, you say, how are things going? You know, and I went through a phase when I first started really delving into Facebook where I felt like I had to speak like some kind of expert on everything. And I kind of lost my voice in that process. And it was actually, I I feel like this keeps coming into my mind, and that's so funny. Nikki's coming in because I just wanted to acknowledge something that Nikki really helped me with, because I feel like someone needs to hear it. But something that can inspire you is that when you start becoming more confident about sharing on Facebook, it helps you just become more confident about your voice in the world. Because I used to watch Nikki's posts, and Nikki would write like long posts and share stuff. And I felt like I always had to be really businesslike and really get to the point and like writing bullet points. And it was actually watching Nikki do that. I was like, well, I like reading her stuff. So if I read her stuff, then people will probably want to read my stuff like that. And she really inspired me with, and I'm talking like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because I used to write like one sentence, and if I wrote more than like 3 sentences, I felt like I was like going on for too long. And it was like when you start to realize that people are interested and you have things that are worth hearing, it boosts your self-esteem because you realize, okay, I do know stuff. I don't just have to share other people's stuff or other people's expertise. I know stuff too. And so I'm just really grateful to be part of this team and to have had you guys as mentors, because it's helped me become good at it, but also have more self-esteem, and that's priceless. So everyone on this Hangout has that same, you can do the exact same thing in your own way.
Well, I've just been listening to the both of you for the last like 15 minutes, and it's like so awesome, and I hope that people listening realize that, you know, some of these things may seem like small tweaks, but they're like the small hinges that open big doors.
I love that saying.
I love that saying too. I think I actually got that from Jonathan Cronstead. Is he the CEO?
He is the CEO.
CEO of Empower Network, and I'll never forget that. I just love that expression. And it really is those small tweaks. And actually, Sandy, it's funny, like, I think it was in the last couple of days, I somehow found a note from like 2011, you know, and it's like this post that I created, and it had about 11 likes on it, you know. So I think that I really want people to get that, you know, everybody starts from the same place, and, you know, you really can go from having 5 likes, 10 likes to having, you know, hundreds of likes. Like, that's totally possible, and you don't have to necessarily, it's not through paid marketing, you know, it's just through increasing your levels of communication, you know, like how can you communicate with people in a way that is all of what you described today, like, you know, just getting people engaged. And somebody asked, I just looked at some of the questions, and somebody asked, like, so is engagement likes, or is it more than that? And I would say, like, a like is like one form of engagement, but if you're just getting likes and you're not getting comments along with that, that's kind of like, it's not, to me, that's not total engagement. A like is kind of like 30%, you know, because it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really. It
takes so little effort for somebody to go, yeah, like.
Exactly. But when they take the time to comment, you know, that's when you really know that it was so compelling for them, whether it was entertaining or educational or inspiring or funny or whatever that was, they just had to leave a comment, you know. I mean, I scroll through, sometimes I just leave likes because I'm like, I just don't feel like commenting on this. It's not that big of a deal for me. So that's just something to know about, like, likes versus comments. I mean, I'd love to contribute to somebody if there's one more person that you want to bring out.
Yeah, let's do one more person. I'm going to look in the comments and see if somebody.
I wonder if we should have a boy, guys, because we've had only women so far. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, the women are, you know, they're here.
Well, we have.
I don't want to do Tracy because he did say that he doesn't really use his profile very much. I want somebody that engages a lot. As much as I love Tracy, and I'd love to see you use your profile because you're really funny.
Yeah.
So maybe on another round, it sounds like he's doing more paid stuff.
Cool. Okay.
What about one of the first people that commented was Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy, because I know Brandy is like super active, And I think the cool thing about the people that we brought out is all of you have been really active on Facebook. You're not like, there's not like 4 days that go by where you don't do anything, because it is important to post something, or 2 or 3 things a day if you can.
Right.
I know that we post very regularly. Sandy does too. If you want this to be a tool that really works for you, you got to work it. And you got to be like kind of omnipresent in a way. You got to be like top of mind for people. That's how Facebook and social marketing works. Is like people are always aware of what you're up to. So let me.
Well, and I just want to add to that. You can get away with a little bit more once you have a certain level of influence. Take a couple days off. But man, I know even for myself, like. If I take like 4 days off, 5 days off, a week off, I pay for that. Like all of a sudden, like you can just tell, like I'm not up in people's news feeds as much. When I do post, it's like I have to fight my way back into people's awareness, and that's just the way. I think that's just the way that Facebook works on a matrixy technical kind of level. So. Okay, so Brandy Nicole.
All right, I got some stuff already. So
Cool.
I think, Brandy, you've done a great job on your profile photo, your cover photo.
Yeah.
That stuff's really cool.
Really fun. She's very fun and sassy. So
Yeah.
you really get a sense of her and who she is right off the bat. So I like that.
Next thing I would do is this about section. It is blank. And, you on Facebook, you get to reveal what it is that you do. So the more that you're willing to reveal and the more that you can reveal, like I understand some people want to hold back for whatever reasons. But again, you're in control of all this stuff. So it's like, I personally, I'm like, I have no problem with people knowing that we live in Boulder, Colorado, right? But I ain't going to put my address on here. You know what I mean? So what I would encourage you to do, Brandy, is put some more information about you on here, because every little thing that you add on your profile gives people one more reason to want to connect with you.
Exactly, and I think it just kind of disarms people. I mean, again, that thing that I said about privacy before, if you have not that you've got your profile totally on like Fort Knox privacy, at least I hope not, because I know we're connected as friends, but like if every setting you have, people have to like ask, then, it doesn't say like, hey, the door is open for you to get to know me as easily. And you want to remove as many like barriers to entry to your business, especially, if you do want to make money off of this, from Facebook. So I also want to, when I was listening to you guys talking to like Tara's profile and a few others, and this applies here, is another thing that you do want to ask is like, well, what do I really desire with Facebook? Like kind of like setting an intention, and like actually like every day when I wake up, I'm like, what is my intention right now? Sometimes it is like, I just want to create a buzz and be more social today. But at least know that that's what you're doing, because if you're going to get on Facebook, like Abram said, and just like be social, that's not necessarily going to make you money directly in like a linear sense. And then you've got your posts that are more like the calls to action, like here's what I'm doing and here's how you can come and join me. Yeah. They support each other, but if you're doing one without the other, it's going to create this imbalance. So if you're always posting like more like your promotional stuff and like here are my hangouts, here's what I'm doing, people will start tuning you out. Yeah. And then if you're always like social, like Tara, I'm just going to throw that out for you, like you're promoting a lot of other people, but I don't see you promoting yourself at all. So there's a lot of like, here's this entertaining post, so people don't come to you like, where's the next step for them? Like you're not inviting them to the next step where they can possibly take to like join you in some sort of business. That's one tip that I want to add.
Well, that's like how I started on the internet years ago. Was I was giving, promoting my other people's stuff, and people had nothing to buy.
Right.
So by the time that we joined Empower Network, it was like everybody had been dying to pay me for like 3 years.
Right. Exactly. So. Tara, that's something to look at. And yeah, I know on your banner, you've got kind of like, here's I do this, and that. But I would love to see you like post about that more. Like, hey, if you need graphic design, I'm right here, or however that works. But anyway, back to Brandy. Brandy, you're a very fascinating profile to me, because your message is like so powerful. Like when I see you talk about like your videos and just like the energy, it matches your banner, matches your profile. It's like fierce and sassy. and kind of like that hey girl, hey thing. Like I think that that's kind of a cool branding actually.
Yeah.
Now your engagement, I'll just say it, be honest, that it kind of really scarce and sparse on the engagement. So Abram, do you want to add to that? Because I think that I would love to actually help you with this, Brandy, because your message, like, you deserve to be making tons of money from like your messaging and what you're putting out there.
Yeah, yeah, and then I would just ask Brandy your permission to be candid with some of the stuff that I see, that I know that if you are willing to receive it, will create a massive change for you and your ability to market on Facebook. Okay, but I'm only going to share it if I get feedback from you that says, yes, I'm willing to hear what that is right now, no matter what it is.
I don't see her on here. I wonder if she's still in the chat. And I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can't see her.
She was a second ago. Well, what should I do? Should I just bring it anyways?
Well, you know, gosh, you guys want to vote on that? Do you guys want to know what we see that could be holding Brandy back? Because ultimately, it's up to her to. Hey, I think you people gave their permission when they said.
When they said yes.
They
okay.
Said, hey, come in.
Fair enough.
Look at my stuff.
That's a good point. So yeah, so Brandy's got like 1,100 connections, which is a lot, right? So it's like when you go down, why is it that she's got 4 people that like this? Why is it that she's the only person that likes this thing that she shared? Why is that? Why is that? And so there's a couple things, right? There's a couple things. One, I think if Brandy applied even more the concepts that we shared earlier about creating something more foundational with Facebook, meaning taking the time to really go out and network with people, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before bed, really leaving thoughtful comments on people's stuff, that would bring more people back, okay? The second thing is, I think, Brandy, you need to pay more attention to who your audience is and who is connected to you on Facebook, okay? So a couple different things, and I won't get totally into it, but on our webinar last week, we had Chris Washlow on, right? And Chris talked about the different types of audiences and people that you can market to. So I know, Brandy, that you use Facebook as a tool to market your business. Are you totally aware of what people are really looking for? Because unless you have a bunch of network marketers or business people that you're tied to on Facebook, unless that's your audience and 80% of the people are in network marketing or have some business of their own, the stuff that you're posting a lot of times is not going to apply to them. And that's a big part of why you may not be getting the engagement you want. Because if you're talking to people like, they need to start their business, or you can do this to help grow your business, but nobody that you're connected to on Facebook has a business or is even interested or even knows that a business could help them solve something, they will not interact with you. So what I see with what you're doing is that you have a message market mismatch. So
Triple M.
Yeah, triple M. Message market mismatch. Or put more plainly, like you have a message market match problem.
Yeah.
Right? So what you're saying, for some reason, isn't connecting with the people that are in your audience.
That are already the people that you already know, the people that you're immediately reaching, the people that it's an interesting thing too to look at your audience, because your audience can change as you change.
Yep.
But right now you haven't made the bridge to the kind of audience that would respond to your kind of message right now.
Correct.
And that's the thing is, we don't want you to get the. By the way, she said, of course, you have my permission. Her internet connection is kind of lagging, so that's the issue. But we don't want you to think your posts are not great, because that's the interesting thing is like, I think you've got some. When I just scroll down deep into your profile, like I think she's powerful. I think she has, and I've watched maybe a couple of your videos, and they're just really powerful. So. But I think just reframing it, I think this goes back to the kind of levels of awareness that people have.
Sure.
We could do a whole hangout on that. We won't.
But we already did.
Well, we already did. We already
did.
level 3 and 4 and stuff. We did the same with Chris Rushlow and all of them.
Well, I think we could use this actually as an example.
Okay, that's a great example.
Okay, so here's what's cool, Brandy. So you have a video here, and I think everybody can learn from this. The title is Why Speaking to Your Target Audience is Not Enough. Right? So the only people that will give a shit about this video are people who are into business.
And probably specifically internet marketing or network marketing.
Right.
And I can tell by your audience interaction and just that sense, we're talking about a mismatch, is your people have not gotten to that point yet. It's like they may not even know that they have a problem, or maybe they know they have a problem with money, but they don't know how to solve it. So it's one of those things. I think this is maybe a good metaphor or comparison. Is like, imagine if you meet a doctor at a some sort of party or get together, and the doctor, you ask him like what he does, and he goes, well, what I really do is straight keel, collateral, and he starts speaking like doctor lingo. You actually start to check out, don't you? And you're kind of like, I can't like relate to this at all. So believe it or not, maybe I think we get used to certain terminology, even just being in like Empower Network or a business like this for a few months. And a year later, you've been to a bunch of events. You just know like the lingo, like target audience. But a lot of people who have never done this kind of business don't even know what target audience means. Avram didn't even know what a capture page was, even when you were doing your Facebook marketing.
Yep.
You were like, what's a capture? And even though he'd hear the word leads, often, because once he started doing his inspiration videos, he attracted more people who were into marketing, and they would like speak that lingo, and he'd be like, leads, like what's leads? Like I don't really, I can't really like, and I remember we'd talk about, you're like, well, I think leads are, I guess it's like this thing where you like collect emails, like, but we still didn't get like,
or why that, I didn't know why that was important.
Why that was valuable, and why that was like absolutely essential to making money.
Correct.
And the other piece was because you weren't also in a frame of mind, you went through different phases, like you weren't in that frame of mind to really be like, well, I want to make money from the inspiration thing, how can I do that?
Correct.
That wasn't a problem for you. Until one day it was, and then you're like, man, I really got to find out how to monetize this internet thing. And then he found out, like, well, shoot, there's all this like leads, capture, okay, I get the picture now.
Yeah.
So just know that, I mean, the cool thing about it is it will make you sound like, some of you guys think that you're not very knowledgeable about internet marketing, you're just a newbie, you don't know very much. But if you know what your target, you know the words target audience and what that means, you will look like an expert to your new members. You will look like an expert to them, and you are, because all an expert is being one step ahead. If you're one step ahead of somebody in terms of knowing something, you're already an expert.
Yeah. So it's like if I would have posted a video like this 3 years ago when I was just doing my inspiration thing and I was doing videos just for fun, that audience then would not have been able to connect with that at all, right? Now, fast forward three years till now, I do have an audience now that connects more about like internet marketing, network marketing, business, entrepreneurship. And so when I post something like you just posted here, Brandy, that would make more sense and be more relevant to them because they already understand this is something that they need. Right. So I would just look at, a big way to put a bow on this is what I'm putting out there, like, do the people get it, or do I need to like help educate people to get them to the point where this would become more relevant? And then I have like one more thing to share about that, but I'm wondering if, Sandy, if you have anything that you would like to contribute to this before we wrap up in terms of like Brandy's profile and stuff. I feel like you have something. Yeah,
well, I spent some time with Brandy in Charlotte at the event last month, and it was so, she shared a video that she'd made after that event about her why and about a realization she'd had about her mum. And Brandy, I know you're watching this, but your internet is slow. So I just think, and I read your post afterwards, and I literally got teary-eyed watching your video, and it was so powerful. And I just think if you apply the thing, if the levels of awareness that Abram and Nikki are talking about here, you have a really good strength, in my opinion, of speaking to the pain that people who don't know they have a problem, well, hang on, sorry, people who do know they have a problem but they don't know what the solution is. I think if you got clearer about that, like these guys are saying, and recognize your strength with that, then you could really just go crazy, like because you have a powerful story, and the way that you speak and the way that your presence, I just think I can sometimes see, because I used to have issues seeing that in myself, and it took a while for me to actually start to realize, oh, I have stuff that people would actually listen to, because sometimes, and this is the gist of what I want to get to, when you don't see it yourself, I think it's almost like you put this energetic wall around it, so other people can't really see it as much. And the more you start to realize, hang on, I am a leader, I am someone that can inspire people, I can change lives, then people can like get through that wall, and the wall starts to disappear. So I would just recognize that you do have a really powerful talent with this, and just add what Abram and Nikki have just suggested to you. I think you could be really powerful, speaking to that level 4. People who know they have a problem but they haven't found the solution yet. So talking about money issues, or not having enough time, or always doing the same thing over and over. And you, like me, you do dance lessons, so you probably have some part of your audience that are people that were like me, so sick of doing a weekly schedule, like same classes every single week, always having to make your holidays like school holidays. Like, you could just use your communication ability to speak to those people, and make it like just slightly clearer. So that was what I wanted to share.
That's awesome, Sandy. I love it. One thing that might be unexpected, I have kind of an unexpected tip that may really be great for somebody, maybe even for Brandy, because I also noticed her dancing, and that really popped out for me.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, I think sometimes people go, well, how do I grow like my friends list on Facebook? And there's many ways to do that. You can go in groups or whatever, or you can also connect with groups offline, and then invite people to connect with you online. So when I go places, I'm always like, hey, do you have a Facebook? Like, are you on Facebook? Like, how can we stay in touch instead of like, well, hey, let's exchange phone numbers, because I don't like to just sit and talk on the phone. And I am in a business. Like, I am in the business of, bringing people in who are struggling to be able to make money, sharing their authentic selves. So when I meet somebody who has that struggle, or they might know somebody who has that struggle, I'm always like, hey, you want to connect on Facebook? And I actually, one of my biggest initial jumps in growth on Facebook, and as far as my network and my reach, was the dance community in Colorado. So I actually went to this place called Rhythm Sanctuary, and I had instant hundreds of friends. It was like, and they just loved to go to these dances, and then they would take pictures, and then they would post them on Facebook. So it's like, oh, I didn't get to tag you. I guess we're not friends yet. We need to be friends.
Yeah.
And it was good enough just to be like, oh, well, they're friends with this person. It'd be like friends of friends of friends of friends of friends of friends of friends. So I just got like hundreds upon hundreds of friends that way. So that's something I want to encourage everybody to do, is like, I think it was Sandy, or both of you said, I think Abram, you said to Sandy, Sandy, you don't treat your online interactions any different than you would offline. Like, they don't have to be these totally separate worlds. Like, you can actually, bridge both the online and the offline and go back and forth, So you create the connection offline, and you use Facebook as a way to, keep the connection, inspire that person, and maybe they'll want to do business with you, you know? And that can be something that can actually grow really fast. You can go to a dance thing, and here's the thing, Brandy, you are in California. I know that there are plenty of freestyle, alternative, tribally kind of dancing scenarios going on, where it's like a community energy. So that's just one thing I wanted to also toss out for you, to bring some new and fresh energy, because because it just kind of feels like maybe you've been trying to get the same people while you haven't been growing your audience.
Sure. That's a good tip. That's a good tip. So I want to follow, I want to kind of like round this out and share with you guys somebody I think who's a shining example of someone who's just like rocking it on Facebook in terms of engagement. So you can see what they do. Now here's the catch. Here's the catch. You have to recognize that this person I'm about to share with you, they are deeply, deeply entrenched in the network marketing world, and all of their friends are also in network marketing. Okay? So of course he's going to share different types of content, but you'll notice that all of the content can relate to other people in network marketing.
Sure.
Right? Versus like where Nikki and I came from, you know, like we did the whole life coaching thing. You know, we still do. You know, we're in the business of inspiring other people and transformation. You know, so like that's why what we post is related to that world, because our network is so much into that stuff. So I'm going to share with you somebody who is just so incredible at what he does in terms of creating engagement for what the heck just happened on my screen? Oh, here it is. Creating engagement on Facebook, and then you guys need to follow him. Okay, I just discovered him recently, and this person really opened up my eyes to what's possible on Facebook. So his name is Kai Lo. Okay, his name is Kai Lo, and I've just been studying what he does and then applying what I'm learning from him to our audience, which again is very different from his audience. So when I scroll down his page, let me see. He also lets a lot of people tag him and stuff, which is interesting. But I want to show you like one of his recent posts. So check this out. Well, this one's not really that great of an idea. But I mean, look at this. Okay, so he wrote here: someone created a fake profile of me to start drama. Always look at somebody's profile to confirm. He has 376 people that liked that. It's crazy. 200 people that commented. Right? So check this out. This is a much better example of what content this guy posts that's super magnetic, that's super tailored to his audience, right? So he's network marketer. Look at this post. 400 something likes, 115 people commenting, multiple shares. He writes, friendship is very important in network marketing. Trust teammates like they're your best friends, and you can build big teams in any company as long as you all believe each other. It all starts with you believing in yourself. When you have doubts, your team gets discouraged. Have faith, go through the ups and downs together, and win championships. Huge engagement. Why? Because he's speaking to the audience who loves network marketing. He's actually using the word network marketing in his post, which draws people in, right? Yeah. Let's find one more, and I think you guys can go study this, and you'll see like, oh, like there's a formula behind what he's doing that allows him to create such killer engagement. Everything he posts is either fun or value-driven. And I think that's really important. My computer's starting to overheat because it's like
one thing while you're
so
looking
hot.
For another post I'll say about that, Abram, like I hope people are actually, when you read that post, I hope they went like, well, that isn't that like magnificent or special.
Sure.
It's just really targeted, and he's connecting with the right people. Like, and I'm not discounting like his greatness or anything like that. I'm just saying like it wasn't like this elaborate, you know, deeply thought out. He meditated on it for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, friendship's important in network marketing. You know, like it's a very like simple kind of post, and yet people responded to it like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You know, so that's what I think. That's really just emphasizing the point that Abram's making about what it can create when you're hitting your audience.
Yeah.
Your audience.
And he only posts like once or twice a day typically, and it's always super targeted, and I can tell that he's thinking about what will my audience resonate with today. So you probably just saw me scroll through about 1 million posts to get to his next one, because he allows people to use his wall, which is a cool strategy too. So again, look at this one. She says, treat your network marketing business like a job and you'll be bored and quit fast. Treat your network marketing business like a family and you will build with a bunch of people you enjoy working with. You can become best friends with people that you have never met in person and build a fast-growing team. It all starts with communication and how you treat others. 400 likes, 100 comments. People are going nuts, right? So I'm just sharing this with the simple point of, look, there's people out here that are going to blow your mind and expand your mind of what's possible. Kai Lo is one of those people. One of the things that he's always doing is he's always weeding out people on his friends list that aren't active, that don't participate and aren't in network marketing. Why? Because his objective, like Nikki mentioned, what's your objective with Facebook, right? His objective is, I want to serve the network marketing community, I want to build a huge team that has fun, and I want to do it on Facebook. That's his objective. It's very obvious, you know. And so what's he going to do? He's only going to add people that are in network marketing and that participate a lot. Why? Because it turns his wall into a party all the time. All the time. So here's what you need to do, okay, is on Kai Lo's page, right, Kai Lo, just go and click the follow button, right, and follow him. And then, like, what I do is I clicked on get notifications, right, because I want to know every time that Kai Lo posts so I can see what he's doing and I can study it, right, because I picked him as somebody that I want to study who's killing it on Facebook, because I want to kill it on Facebook. So what am I going to do? I'm going to study from the best. I'm going to learn from him, even though he's targeting a totally different market than I am. So that's all I have to say about that. Go ahead, Sandy.
I can just share something. Yeah, something really quickly. After you suggested him to me, Abram, I went on his wall and I started looking at it. I followed him. I commented on like one post, I think, and he instantly. It was so funny. We cross. I messaged him and he friend requested me like 2 seconds later, and so I accepted the friend request and I just said to him, oh, I was just checking your wall out, and he's like, yeah, no, I saw your friends with Abram, and he asked me about my dog, and I replied, and then I said something about his wall, but he continued the conversation, but about me. He didn't talk about himself. And he had such a really light energy. Like a lot of people that friend request you, you can feel there's this kind of agenda behind it. And I could feel with him, obviously he's adding me to his network. It's not like for altruistic, like maybe he wants to do business with me in the future. But in that moment, he didn't, it felt very light. Like there was no, this is my, look at my link, or this is what I do. He just said, oh, you've got a really sweet dog and you're friends with Abram. And we had a chat. And it was so and then that was it, and I just thought he had the energy was so spacious, like you couldn't feel any I want to do this or I hope you do that. It was very different to a lot of people I see on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's a mindset that I'm glad you said that, Sandy, because I think that's a mindset that you have to have if you're going to grow your Facebook to be really dynamic. Like you can't be attached to the outcome of people joining you in your business, like that kind of thing. So I think that's a great point you brought up, and you can feel that. It's like it's not just through his words, but like you can feel when like somebody's giving off that vibe. So that's really important. It's almost like this ironic thing. Like when people are not attached, you're more likely to join. You're more like now you're like, well, now I want to go back to your wall because you're not like trying to get me to do stuff.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I want to see what else you're into because. He showed interest in you, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier about how to win friends and influence people. You can do that on Facebook, and you can do that everywhere in your life. So, I mean, I just realized it's like 4:40 here. We went like way longer than we normally do, but I think we delivered some really, really cool stuff, and that's why people are still hanging out. I mean, it doesn't on my side here. Nobody's left, at least on the Google Hangout. It still says everybody that came is still here. So must mean that you're learning something, that you got something special out of this. And, comment below, let us know, give us some feedback. What did you learn? Like, what was your breakthrough? What are you going to apply now? I mean, I know that Leslie already wrote to us, and she was the first session that we did, the first mini session, and she said, I took the advice that Sandy gave me. I changed the profile photo, and boom, instant engagement. It's like going crazy on her wall right now. So Leslie's already implementing. She's taking the stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, she's already got tons of comments, a bunch of likes, you know, and that's how you create engagement. You take the stuff that we talked about, and you start putting it into action, not tonight, not tomorrow, like now. Like you can do it now. Everything we gave to you, you can literally create your next post and do it now. Right? You can literally go change your profile photo. You can literally go change the information in your About Me section. Right? You can do all these things that we mentioned literally in a fraction of time and create a change. So that's what I want you to do. Right? Go do it. Create results. Let us know what changes. Right? And we do this every week, all right? We do this every week. You can come back, learn from us. The topic's always different. Sometimes it's mindset. Sometimes it's marketing, stuff like this. Sometimes it's Q&A. It's hot seats. It's whatever. But we do this as a service to the community to give value and just share with people the possibilities of building a business on the internet, having fun on the internet. You know, it's afforded us the ability to meet really cool people like Sandy and the rest of the people that are here, that are on the team, that aren't on the team yet. You know, that's what the internet has really done for us. And so if for some reason you're here and you're not a part of what we're doing yet, then just click the button below and become a part of what we're doing, right? Join us now. Get in touch with us. Become a part of our movement. Start learning the cool stuff that we have for you. It can help you change your life, your business, everything, right? Just like it has for us. So did you have anything to add to that, Nikki, Sandy?
That's it for me, yeah.
That's it? Okay, cool. And then like we mentioned, guys, the 15K formula. If you want to become really good at communication, modules 8 and modules 9 of the 15K formula, you need to get them. Okay, you need to get them. There's a seminar starting tonight with Lawrence Tam. I'm going to be sending out details for that here in a minute. For everybody that has the 15K formula, you can participate in that. And Lawrence, of course, is our millionaire mentor. The dude's made millions of dollars blogging, right? And in order to make a lot of money blogging, you have to become good at communication. You have to become good at writing headlines. You have to become good at understanding your target audience and getting them interested in what it is that you have to share. And that's what Lawrence is going to be teaching. So like Lawrence says, you got to have your school books first. You know, he's an engineer at heart. You got to have your school books first, and that's the 15K formula, one of our products. Okay, you can pick that up in the back office if you don't have it. That's your books, that's your tuition in order to be a part of Lawrence's course. So you got to get that, and you got to be a part of our team to do that. And let me know if you have any questions. And we appreciate you guys coming out and playing with us today.
All right.
Au revoir, Miss Baguette.
And Baguette says goodbye.
Cool. Thanks for coming out and sharing with us today too, Sandy.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right. See you everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.